Namaskar, good afternoon, Savilai. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon and namaste.
You're looking wonderful.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing this afternoon?
Excited?
Excited? Yeah. You know, to be very honest, when I got your book, The Heel, I was sort of like, caught in a dichotomy. Dichotomy in a sense that, I knew the book is going to be full of pain, full of, different kinds of traumas that you went through, full of diagnoses and different types of, hospital and doctors' opinions and things like that. So basically, I was, on the surface, I was thinking that it's going to be painted with a grim picture, and I really don't know if I want to get into that, immerse myself into that. You probably experienced that yourself, revisiting while writing the book, But then when I went deeper, I definitely thought that the book must be more than that. It must be about how you overcome that, how you overcome the trauma in the face of difficulties of life. How did you strengthen yourself despite the challenges that you had to face? And of course, after the sickness and the illness, the new perspective you must have had about life, about things in general, about things that you took it for granted otherwise, must have had a different or a new meaning to it. So that motivated me to read your book. And that is probably what motivated you to write the book, right? It's just not about your illness, but how you overcome your illness, how you overcame the challenges, and despite the sadness and the dark cloud, there was a silver lining. Because, in suffering, sometimes we intend to be innovative as well, And the suffering that you went through probably innovated your perspective, innovated your outlook on life, the things you took, for granted and mundane things in life, had a different meaning, the nature, the mind, the spirit, the body, all that. And that becomes interesting reading because, as a human being, what we are interested in most, as a human being, what are we interested in most? We're interested about another human being. That is the most interesting part for one human being, We're always interested in another human being. So of course we're all interested in knowing your narration, especially a popular, famous person like you, who is known for their beauty, for their glamour, for their body, who had to go through all those challenges, which probably made you a caricature of yourself at one point or the other, and that must not have been a very easy thing to digest. So that made a very interesting reading, and I wasn't too wrong because despite, in spite of your sickness and diagnosis, you have spoken a lot about life. You've spoken a lot about the spirit and the mind, which will interest us all because, the unpredictability of life, the fear of life, whether you're in sickness or in health, we all have that. Right. We all have that fear. We all have that sense of mortality in us somewhere. We don't carry it on our sleeve on a day-to-day life. Otherwise, we won't be able to get things done. But we all have that, whether the person who's in sickness or whether in health. So that is a very strong link. Your emotion links to the rest of us because we identify with that, very strongly. So overall, thank you so much for writing this book, sharing your experience. I'm sure it must not have been very easy for you to do it, to put yourself out there in the open, open up yourself. And it's a pleasure being here on the stage and talking to you like this. What I would like to ask you is, when you confront a serious disease such as cancer, especially you on your 4th stage, and it has already metastasized, and that is there's a very fatal stage that you are in, And when you first confront it, I think, most of us, what we intend to do is when we're told of our fatal disease, we go through this. The first phase is always the denial phase, It cannot happen to me. It's not me, This is something that happens to someone else. This is something that I read about somebody else, So you go through the denial phase. And then slowly, it starts sinking in you and in a person, and then you sort of intend to sort of like take it in, and then you say that, okay, this is what I will have to live up with. And then later on, then you build up a courage, and the courage, of course, is is not only you yourself, but the other sources that come, your lovely mother, your father, your family, When I read the book, the amazing thing that you have is, you have your strength of your own, you're a very courageous person, but at the same time you have a tremendous support system.
Absolutely.
A tremendous support system in your mother, in your father, your brother. You are so lucky.
Yes.
If I fall sick tomorrow, I will not have that support system. My parents are not around. I don't know what my brothers and sisters are going to do it, because I always say we're 5 siblings, we're 5, and this is me, and this is them. So, so that's a very nice position to be in, especially when you have a cancer, Your tremendous mother has always been a backbone for you, and you've taken so much of energy from her. So congratulations. Maybe you would like to share some experience of your own with the audience and myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajesh. It meant the world to me that you read the book. You've known me a little bit about as an actor, as a person, but when I got to know that you'll be part of this launch and you'll be reading the book, I was really, really thrilled. Thank you for doing this. And thank you all for being here. Really supporting and loving, and thank you so much. And rightfully so. Let me begin with my gratitude towards my family, who's been my strength at the time. You all have just recently heard my mom, and I'm totally blessed to have a mother like that, to have an amazing father, to have amazing family support, and few close friends whom I truly value and who were there. So my thank you and gratitude to them. And so I'll talk a little bit about my book. I felt compelled to write this book, especially about cancer, how it impacted me, and what all happened, because I feel it is from a person's perspective, a person who's gone through this kind of life-threatening disease, is that kind of in a mainstream, there's lesser kind of a book. I had asked my publisher, Penguin Random House in New Delhi, I had asked them, do you recommend any book? So they had actually mentioned a book called When Breath Becomes Air, and when I was reading that book, it was beautiful, it's poetic, but it is also very sad. So I felt that's not how I want to tell my story, and I want to give hope. And because I believe in second chances, I believe in life, and I believe that in silver lining after the dark phase. So that's why I felt, even though I really, I have tried my level best to be earnest and honest and take my readers to the fears of what a cancer patient goes through. And I know whoever reads that gets to feel what I was going through. So I'm sorry for taking my readers to down the lane of pain and trauma. But that's something that we all identify with, whether we are in sickness or in health, because that's always in the back of our mind, the unpredictability of life, the fear, the mortality, So you were right on. The story was fantastic. Carry on. So but then I knew that towards the end, because it's a story also about overcoming the difficulty. So that's why I felt its initial will be shaken up, but I know there's going to be relief at the end. So, and also I feel my perspective towards life has changed a lot, as you rightfully said, that I was taking life for granted. I was taking everything that came as a gift to me for granted, like beautiful family who's here, who stood there like a rock through my really struggle time. I took them for granted. I had a wonderful career and people, so many fans loving me, adoring me, showering me with so much of love. I took everything for granted. And how, when I was diagnosed with cancer and I realized that life was slipping by, how I was desperate to save all that I initially had taken for granted, and I didn't care a damn. And that's when I realized, see, I better tell this story and tell about my lessons in life so that somebody else probably could benefit from it. Not to take love for granted, not to take work for granted, not to take this life for granted, not to take things that comes to us. You know, we don't take it, we don't value it till we really struggle. Actually, that's the main purpose to writing this book. While telling my story is also important, the lessons that I learned, how my perspective towards life changed, what kind of life I'm seeing. And honestly, today, even if I lead a short life, I really don't care so much, as long as I lead quality life, as long as I get to enjoy and savor and taste and really welcome life with open arms and full heart. So,
you know, when I'm listening to you right now, I just remembered a few lines from, I think it was Rudyard Kipling. You know, there's a poem called If.
I love that.
You like that poem? And there's a few lines. I'm not going to go through the whole poem, but there are a few lines which is, you know, so much familiar or similar to the kind of emotion you must have gone through, probably. You know, it says that if you, I mean, all his lines starts from if. So he said, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after it's gone, and so hold on when you have nothing else but the will that says to you, hold on. You know, I so identify with the emotions that you must have gone through, because there was one point in your life when you, I mean, you probably say a few lines in the book as well, where you had almost like, you know, there was a phases in your life where you wanted to give up and just maybe say goodbye peacefully to this world and sneak out. And that is the moment when you probably did not have any energy, any will. But that is the moment when you stuck on and you held on and you hold on to your energy when there was absolutely nothing else to hold on. And that is when you become courageous. Because the kind of, I mean, when I read the diagnosis, the kind of stage that you have gone through, it was a fatal stage. It was the 4th stage. Cancer was rampant. I think 19 or 20% of survival chances. So you're amongst those 19% of the people who survive, you know, facing a disease like yours. So that was tremendous. And with that kind of courage, I think it would go a long way. And with that kind of mentality, and with this renewed energy and life. So congratulations, you're going to live for long.
Thank you, Rajesh.
And I see Vijay Kumarji, with him in the interview, I said, the whole thing about life is going out gracefully.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
At one stage of life, what you think is, what do you want the most? Oh, I just want to exit gracefully from this life. And that becomes the most important thing, you know, to exit gracefully.
I totally agree, Rajesh. I think during this whole journey, death was one of the topic which was consistently in my head. And the only thing that was, I was looking, okay, if I had to die, what kind of environment I would want to leave this earth, and what kind of frame of mind. And what was not acceptable to me is to die in fear and die in desperation, wanting to live. So when the time comes, I want to exit gracefully and with dignity, for sure. Yeah.
Because another 2 lines, You are the master of your fate, and you are the captain of your soul, right? And you are the one who's going to direct all that. Is there anything you would like to share?
No, I think I just basically want to say that it's a first-hand experience of the cancer and my life and everything. I hope you all read the book and tell me how it is. It's my new journey. I have many stories in my head and which I want to share in other books. This is my first attempt, so I hope the readers like the book. I want to thank Fine Prints. I want to thank Penguin, Random House for supporting me and giving me a pat on my back and holding my hand and telling me how to go about it. This is my.
अनि यो तपाईको किताब नेपालीमा पनि आउँदैछ.
नेपालीमा पनि आउँछ. Fine Printले चाहिँ नि यसको अनुवाद गर्नेछ, ट्रान्सलेसन गर्नेछ र I think in few months time, couple of months time, it will come in Nepali also. हाम्रो यही कुरा अरू
तपाईँलाई अरू कुरा केही भन्नु छ भने के गाउनु छ भने नाच्नु छ भने अहिले त तपाईँ एकदम स्वस्थ हुनुहुन्छ.
म अहिले एकदम स्वस्थ छु.
केही कम्प्लिकेसन छैन. तपाईँको आफ्नो डक्टर्सहरूसँग तपाईँ इन टच भइरहनुहुन्छ.
हो.
मैले तपाईँको सपोर्ट सिस्टमको कुरा गर्दाखेरि मैले तपाईँको डक्टर्सलाई मेन्सन गर्नु बिर्सेछु होइन. तपाईँको त्यो डक्टर ची,
डक्टर म्याकर
होइन, उहाँहरूले पनि तपाईँसँग धेरै राम्रो चाहिँ सम्बन्ध पनि गाँच्नुभयो, सपोर्ट पनि गर्नुभयो. अहिले पनि तपाईँहरू चाहिँ इन्टरेक्ट गरिरहनु भएको छ होइन. उहाँहरूको पनि त ठुलो देन छन् होइन.
पहिलो कुरा त मेरो नर्वेमा डक्टर मधु गिनेरीजीले डायग्नोज गर्नुभएको थियो. त्यतिखेर नै उहाँले भन्नुभएको थियो कि अमेरिका लिएर जानु भनेर. त्यसपछि म डक्टर वानीसँग मुम्बईमा मेरो सेकेन्ड ओपिनियन गयो. अनि त्यसपछि म न्युयोर्कमा गएर चाहिँ नि मैले डक्टर ची चाहिँ आमाले खोज्नुभयो कि यो ओभेरियन क्यान्सरको हु इज द गुड सर्जन, हु इज द बेस्ट सर्जन भनेर. अनि डक्टर चीको नाम आउनुभयो. अनि त्यसपछि अपरेसन भएपछि देन डक्टर म्याकर केम अन बोर्ड एन्ड ओभर द इयर्स चाहिँ नि उहाँहरूले जहिले पनि मैले इमेल उहाँलाई पठाउँथेँ र वान्स अ इयर चाहिँ नि म गएर न्युयोर्कमा उहाँहरूलाई भेट्थेँ टु जस्ट बेसिकली गेट अ साइकोलोजिकल कम्फर्ट to meet my doctors and to and I kept on asking Dr. Chi ki am I cured, am I cured, am I cured भनेर. उहाँ चाहिँ हाँस्नुहुन्थ्यो. यो एकदमै जिद्दी पेसेन्ट हो भनेर. but he really supported me and yeah, I think I have a wonderful doctor support system in my doctors. Again, I feel I was blessed to get them on board and yeah.
Thank you, Dhanyavad, and may you have a long life and a healthy life.
Thank you.
In every which way, mentally, spiritually, physically,
absolutely,
and intellectually, just to a certain extent. Keep your intellect as well. अनि दर्शकहरू तपाईहरुलाई केही भन्नु छ या सोध्नु छ मनिषाजीलाई किताबको बारेमा, उहाँको यो जुन चुनौती उहाँले सामना गर्नुभयो त्यसको बारेमा के छ भने सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ कसैले.
यहाँहरु सबलाई नमस्ते. म गुरु प्रसाद बराल. मेरो घर यही कुम्दी हो. मनिषा कोइराला जीसित मैले खेल खेलेको छु. फेरि घटनाको सुटिङ हुँदा मेरै गाउँमा सुटिङ भएको थियो र हजुरलाई जब यो जटिल समस्या थाहा पाएँ म एकदम दुखित भएँ र हजुरको चाहिँ स्वास्थ्यलाको मैले कामना पनि गरेँ. तर मलाई एउटा दुःख लागेको कुरा, हजुर जस्तो यत्रो व्यक्तित्व, यत्रो हाइट भएको मान्छेले 4 स्टेजसम्म क्यान्सर पहिचान नगर्दाखेरि यो म्यासेज अलिकति राम्रो भएन कि जस्तो भन्ने लागिरहेछ. यसमा किन कमी रह्यो यसको बारेमा स्पष्ट पारिदिनु हुन यहाँलाई म निवेदन गर्दछु.
धन्यवाद. यो राइट. किनभने म पनि मानिसै हुँ र हाम्रो चाहिँ नि यहाँ त्यति धेरै हालाकि एउटा सक्सेसफुल बलिउड नेपाली भन्दा हुँदै पनि मेरो चाहिँ लेट स्टेजमा नै डायग्नोसिस भयो. म धेरै इग्नोरेन्ट थिएँ र मलाई लाग्छ हाम्रो अवेरनेस लेभल चाहिँ नि धेरै नै कम हुन्छ र यो क्यान्सर म्याक्सिमम क्यान्सरको डायग्नोसिस in our part of the world is especially towards the end, especially towards the late stage cancer मा नै हुँदो रहेछ. थर्ड स्टेज भएपछि नै धेरै जसो फुल डायग्नोसिस हुने रहेछ किनभने हामीले आफ्नो हेल्थलाई धेरै बुझाइ हुँदैनौँ धेरै आफ्नो हेल्थलाई फोकस गरेर हुँदैनौँ उसलाई सो बडीले साइन र सिम्पटम्सहरू दिइरह हुँदो रहेछ तर हामीले त्यसलाई मैले चिनेको थिइनँ र 6 महिना हुन्थ्यो 6 महिनादेखि नै चाहिँ नि अलि अप्ठ्यारो भइरहन्थ्यो तर सानोतिनो अप्ठ्यारो त्यसलाई चाहिँ इग्नोर गर्ने किन एउटा त हाम्रो फिल्म जगतमा नि कस्तो छ भने अलिकति ज्वरो आए पनि सुटिङ गर्ने अलिकति अप्ठ्यारो भयो भने पनि प्रोफेसनलिजम हाम्रो कति हुन्छ भने काम फोकस गरेर काम खतम गर्ने बरु ज्वरो आएको छ या केही अप्ठ्यारो छ भने त्यसलाई धेरै फोकस नगर्ने इग्नोर गरेर कामतिर धेरै हामीले त्यो गरिरहन्छौँ बडीले
कङ्ग्रेचुलेसन तपाईँ यस्तो उसबाट राम्रो भएर आउनु हाम्रो सामु हुनुहुन्छ र किताब पनि लेख्नुभयो मेरो खास तपाईँसँग प्रश्न चाहिँ अब नेपाल एउटा गरिब मुलुक र हामी महिलाहरू गरिब मुलुकका महिलाहरू खास गरेर हामी जुन पछाडि परेका छौँ त्यो महिलाहरू त हजुर त अब फाइनेन्सियल राम्रो फ्यामिलीबाट र फ्यामिली सपोर्टहरूबाट चाहिँ क्लियर हुनुभयो तर हामी कति ग्रामीण भेगका महिलाहरू छौँ यस्तो अवस्थामा चाहिँ तपाईँको अब आगामी दिनको ती महिलाहरूलाई अवेरनेस तपाईँले जुन भन्नुभयो हामी आफ्नो हेल्थलाई एभोइड गर्छौँ भनेर त्यसको लागि चाहिँ तपाईँको आगामी प्लान के हुन्छ एज यो क्यान्सरको अवेरनेसको लागि चाहिँ के छ भन्ने मात्र सोध्न चाहन्छु हस्त
यो त एकदमै लेट स्टेजमा र स्पेसली ओभेरियन क्यान्सरको डायग्नोसिस अल ओभर द वर्ल्ड चाहिँ नि लेट स्टेजैमा हुन्छ अनि अनफर्चुनेटली म पनि त्यसैमा परेँ र that again what it means to me is that I have to do a lot of work to generate awareness. जस्तो मेरो एउटा आन्टीको अमेरिकामा क्यान्सर डायग्नोसिस भयो तर उहाँको डायग्नोसिस 0 स्टेजमा भयो किनभने उताको हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम यति स्ट्रङ छ यति सम्पन्न छ कि मान्छेहरूले बिर्से भने पनि उताको हस्पिटल या त्यो उनीहरूले चाहिँ फोन गरेर रिमाइन्ड गरिरहन्छन् यु फरगटन योर टेस्ट यु हेभ टु कम फर द टेस्ट भनेर त्यस्तै अनि हाम्रो चाहिँ साउथ इस्ट एसियामा चाहिँ एउटा स्ट्रङ हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम हुनुपर्छ भनेर मलाई लाग्दछ थ्याङ्क यू फर द क्वेसन